I think another thing that is really interesting, Lee, that just sort of sprung to mind then is this confirmation that when you have a goal for the month, for instance, and you're starting to put these activities into place, these habits, and then perhaps it gets to the 15th of the month and you haven't even started to hit that goal, for instance. So I met up with a group of business people last week, and there was one particular person who's had a really tough time recently, just in general. And I could hear the words that were being said. And they kept saying, but what happens if I don't hit my target for January? I'm not going to be able to pay the staff. And so it was, obviously we were all having that discussion. It was kind of like, yeah, of course, but what can you put in place? What kind of activities can we do? Anyway, so we kept saying, she was like, yeah, I put that into place. I put that into place. So it didn't really seem like there was any reason that this person should not hit their goals by the end of the month. But it just kept repeating, but what happens if I don't hit it? What happens if I don't hit it? And in the end, I sort of said, well, I think you're not going to hit it if you keep saying, what happens if I don't hit it? Because all you're thinking about is the what ifs. But we actually have to live in the now, the present, because you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. It doesn't matter what's happened in the past. All you can do is what happened now. And she just didn't get it for a while. And in the end, I said, okay, so if it is a financial thing, if somebody was to say, if you don't, unless you hit your financial goal this month, somebody's going to take your kids away from you. I said, do you think you'd hit your financial goal? Absolutely, they said. So it's like, so therefore, rather than waiting for some terrible event to happen, why not think, whatever happens at this moment, what can I do to ensure that I can get there? And at the end of it, this person did kind of go, oh, yeah, I think so. But we just train ourselves, don't we, to think, and this is the mindset thing. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. And actually, you talk a lot about having this kind of faith that you are going to do it.
So there's two really key things you mentioned there, Emma. Really absolutely key. Number one is your why has got to be big enough. So if this entrepreneur, this individual, if you were to, they'd be faced with a proposition or with the enormity of losing their children, they're going to put the foot on the pedal and they're going to get moving for sure. So the thing is, you've got to make your why big, because your why is like fuel that's driving you from the inside. Now, it doesn't need to be something as extreme as that. It might be, getting a new home, but something you really want. Like, you've got to want it from the core, the pit of your stomach. Or it could just be to make a difference, or to have your business all over the world, or whatever it is. But you've got to really want that. Like, you've got to feel it in every cell of your being. So that's the first key thing you mentioned. Your why has got to be big enough. Number two, and this I'm so glad you mentioned it, Emma. Everything's on time. But doubt and worry is like praying for something you don't want. It's crazy, how someone can set a goal and yet all day, every day, they're thinking about, what if I don't hit it? What if this doesn't happen? Now, if you're operating from a state of unbelief, I promise you, you're working against yourself. You literally work. The biggest epiphany I had last year, Emma, I was reading a book by Michael Lossier, Losier. It's called The Law of Attraction. And in there, he's got a 3-step process for deliberate attraction. A 3-step process for deliberate attraction. Step 1 in his process is you've got to clearly identify what it is that you want. So that's the simple stuff, right? That's the goal, the target you're shooting at, where you're going, right? So that's what you get on, if you carry a goal card, that's what you get onto your goal card, and you remind yourself of it. Step 2 in this process is you got to give any energy to that desire. Now, Emma, in terms of mindset, and many of you listening to this who's in the personal development world will know that you've got to give energy to your desire. You do it by rewriting that goal every day, affirming or auto-suggesting that goal. And for those of you who are not familiar, or maybe hearing the term auto-suggestion for the first time, auto-suggestion is a suggestion from yourself to yourself. So you'd go into a room and you'd affirm or auto-suggest your goal, and you want to write your goal in the present tense. So I'm so happy and grateful now that I'm earning X amount of money. I'm happy, I'm healthy, I'm wealthy, it's done. Whatever your goal statement is. And then you affirm it or you auto-suggest it for 5 minutes or 2 minutes, however long. You rewrite your goal. Maybe when you're in the train on your way to see a client or on the way to a networking meeting, you close your eyes and you visualize your goal. So step 2, you give energy to it. Now, step 3 is the most important step. And like I said earlier, Emma, this was the biggest epiphany I had in 2023. Step 3, you've got to allow it. Because here's the thing, and in Michael Lossia's, in the book, in his philosophy, he said allowing is simply the absence of doubt. Allowing is the absence of doubt. So this lady, she's getting involved in doubt and worry. You can make book on the fact that's going to show up in the way, because that's where she's living daily. That's what she's expecting. And what she's expecting is going to move into her experience. Here's a little prop. Is there a visual representation, or are we streaming this via video on all platforms, Emma? Can I show you a prop quickly?
Yeah.
So here's a plastic see-through glass, and there's these bamboo sticks made holes through, and that's holding a bunch of marbles up there. And there's a little hole down here where the marbles can come out. Now, the marbles represent your desire. That's your goals up here. The bamboo sticks, that represents your doubt and your worry. And where the marbles come out here at the bottom, that is the manifestation of your desire. So here's your desire, here's the doubt and worry. And when the marbles come out here, that's the manifestation of your desire. Now, you can have a strong desire, like you have clearly identified your goal. You can be giving it energy by auto-suggesting it, affirming it every day. If you getting involved in doubt and worry, so you've got strong doubt, but a strong desire, they're literally going to cancel each other out. Nothing's going to move. Nothing's going to move down. But if you remove a bit of this doubt, like if I remove 1 or 2 sticks here, some of these marbles will fall down to the bottom and they'll come out. So a little bit of doubt, slow manifestation. But it stands to reason, if we remove all of those bamboo sticks, if you remove all of the doubt with regards to you accomplishing or achieving your goal, the manifestation of it is going to be so much faster. Now, yes, we've got to take action. Yes, we've got to move into action every day. But mindset is so key, because even if we take in the action and our expectation is wrong, so you could be reaching out to people, you take in the action, but you're expecting them to say no, or you're expecting rejection. What is going to be your experience? So, this, honestly, Emma, it was the biggest thing the biggest epiphany. I mean, it's things but sometimes you just need to hear it again, or you need some sort of visual representation. And I've got this on my desk just to remind me that the biggest step, the most important step in attracting your ideal business, the amount of money you want, into your experience, the most important step is to allow it. And that's simply the absence of doubt. And here's the thing, that third step, allowing, is the least understood step of the three. Most people don't understand it.